project that the Tribuno has for that footage and those interviews. But I do want to offer a little bit of context before I get into the details of those visits. I think the main idea I want to start with, and I'll use my own story to illustrate that, is that none of us are safe. That while there are attacks among the most vulnerable among us, that none of us are safe. My parents migrated in the 1960s from Mexico. They had to hide, they had to live without papers for most of my childhood. I teach at a community college and I live in Los Angeles. Both the Chancellor's Office and the City of Los Angeles is entertaining laws to allow people to live in their cars. They want community college students to live in their cars on the parking lot of the community college that they attend. Like, this is going to be good for student outcomes, right? But that is the point. They want our struggles to be separated. They want us to fight on these pillars of racism, sexism, and nativism. That helps, right, the ruling class when the response is divided and we think we don't have anything to do with each other. This tactic is not new. But this brutality at the border, as it increases, is their weakness. And we can see it when Japanese Americans, as Penny mentioned, are organizing around the country. In Los Angeles, we had a similar event. Holocaust survivors are affirming that these are concentration camps. One woman brought her children and described the toll on the kids, the health issues, and the way the people on the caravan supported each other, especially the women with children. The other woman tells us she was afraid to bring her child, so she left her 2 babies at home.
Bien, solo yo he visto por ellos y mi familia aquí, mi papá y mi mamá y mis hermanos que he visto por ellos.
¿Y cómo se quedaron cuando te viniste con el discípulo?
Pues los dejé dormidos porque salí bien de noche por ellos, a las 2 de la mañana me tuve que venir.
¿Y tú les dijiste que te ibas a no?
Pero yo tuve que venirme, como le digo, me vine a las 2 de la mañana. Los dejé dormir. Pero yo me vine por ellos mismos, como le digo, para darle algo mejor a ellos, un estudio.
De que al no lograr pues ninguna de las dos cosas, pues pierdo a mis hijos y pierdo mi vida.
These 2 women are supporting each other because the woman who chose to bring her kids is now afraid they'll be taken from her at the border. So you can't win, right? If you leave them, if you bring them, there's no, this is an untenable situation. So once they arrived at the border, that was a victory. Just arriving there, even though so many people told them, and some of the federal promotoras or volunteers from the Mexican government, pulled me aside and said they don't understand the situation here. They think it's easy to get across the border. They think Trump is going to come down here and talk to them, almost in a, like they're just too idealistic, right? And as I learned more, their attitude was, we've already accomplished a lot. You think this wall is going to keep me from securing what I need for my child, for my community? So the resilience and this idea that a wall is not going to deter, right, the seeking human dignity. And I'll give you some examples. In Los Angeles, the homelessness fronts of struggle are uniting with the struggle for affordable housing, right? Makes sense. the struggles for affordable housing are uniting with the migrant struggles, because where are people going to live when they get here? And in fact, a migrant is just that, someone who has not only lost their home, but lost their country. So it's really the same thing, right? When you are not able to afford housing, you can't afford to stay in your country. Even language is used to divide our struggles when we're really all looking for our basic needs to be met. We have to understand what is the root of the problem. Because, students sleeping in their cars, 1-year visas, these are all Band-Aids. And so I think the first thing we need to do is really understand the problem. And also, once we understand the problem, we can look at it outside of the frame that they're constantly putting on us. And that is that there is not enough, right? There is not enough to share. And it seems like a sensible thing, right? I'm going to feed my kids before I feed your kids. And I'm not going to feel, I don't feel good about it, but that's a sensible position. That is the framework in which they have us, constantly thinking that there is not enough. And so somebody is going to have to do without. So who is that somebody? Who's the non-deserving person? Who's the extra person? Or, in sometimes more brutal sense, who's the most vulnerable person? Who is going to not fight back when we toss them off the boat? Because we're not going to make it all on this boat. So that's the first lie. And it's a lie that there is not enough. It's a lie there is not enough in California. There's a lie that it's not enough in this country. And it's a lie that it's not enough in this world.